Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. All right, so in this explainer, we're not just going to talk about Donald Miller's Building a Story Brand. We are going to build an actionable blueprint from it. By the time we're done, you'll have a clear step-by-step plan to put these incredibly powerful ideas to work for your business like today. So let's start with a question. Think about most of the marketing you see out there. It's just noise, right? It's confusing, it's self-centered, and we all just tune it out. Well, this blueprint is designed to fix all that. We're going to help you craft a message so clear and so compelling that your customers can't help but listen. First up, the core outcome. Before we dive into the how, let's get crystal clear on the what. What is the exact result you can expect if you apply this framework? And I'm not talking about theory here. I'm talking about a real, measurable impact on your business. And here it is. The goal, the core outcome, is to stop wasting money on marketing that just doesn't work. You are going to create a message that is so simple it connects instantly, so relevant your customers feel understood, and so repeatable that your entire team can share it. And the result? Growth. Okay, now for the big idea. This is the fundamental shift in thinking that makes this entire StoryBrand framework so incredibly powerful. And honestly, getting this next part right, it changes absolutely everything. This right here, this is the most important concept in the entire book. Every single person on the planet, including every one of your customers, sees themselves as the main character, the hero of their own life story. The real question is, where does your brand fit into their story? The whole book, the entire system, is built on this one powerful principle. You know, when a brand positions itself as the hero, talking all about its own achievements and how great it is, it's actually creating a rival. It's forcing the customer to compete for the spotlight. And that's a competition the brand will lose every single time. So here's the bottom line. Your role is to be the trusted guide. Think Yoda to Luke Skywalker or Q to James Bond. You are the one with the experience, the empathy, and the plan who comes alongside the hero to help them win the day. Okay, let's move on to the operating system. If the big idea we just talked about is the why, then this is the how. This is the 7-part machine, the StoryBrand 7 or SB7, that you are going to use to filter every single message you create from now on. And this is it. This is the 7-part framework that, believe it or not, nearly every compelling story in human history follows. I'm talking everything from ancient myths to Hollywood blockbusters. This structure just works because it taps into how the human brain is literally wired to make sense of information. This is now your filter for everything. And this right here is the tool you'll use to apply that framework. It's a simple one-page worksheet called the brand script. Its entire job is to help you map out those 7 story elements into a single powerful narrative. Think of this as your brand's master messaging document. All right, now for what is probably the most important section, implementation. It's time to turn this framework into an action plan you can start using today. This is where we stop talking and start doing. This is where theory becomes results. So, the big question is, how do you actually put this into practice, right? Well, the book lays out a really clear path, and we can boil it down to 3 specific, manageable steps that are going to transform your entire marketing approach. Here's your immediate checklist. First, you have to do the work and create your brand script. Seriously, don't skip this part. Second, you'll take that entire page and distill it down into one powerful sentence, your one-liner. And third, you deploy that message everywhere, your website, your emails, your ads, to ensure total consistency. And that one-liner, it's so much more than just a clever tagline. It's an incredibly powerful tool for getting your whole team on the same page. When everyone from the CEO down to the newest intern can repeat it perfectly, your entire team effectively becomes your sales force. Now, for your one-liner to actually be effective, it has to be a mini story. That means it absolutely must include these 4 parts. You have to identify the customer, state their problem, hint at your plan for them, and then paint a clear picture of their success. Okay, next up, let's talk about making this all stick. Because this framework isn't some one-and-done fix. To get the real long-term benefits, you have to build new, recurring behaviors into your company culture to keep your message crystal clear. These 4 habits are what make the framework last. First, filtering all your communication through your brand script. That ensures consistency. Second, repeating the one-liner constantly. That builds organizational muscle memory. And finally, relentlessly telling the customer's story that keeps everyone focused on the real mission, serving the hero. And you have to remember this. This applies to your team just as much as it applies to your customers. A clear story gives your employees a real reason to be engaged because they finally understand the meaningful role they play in a much larger narrative. All right, finally, let's look at the common pitfalls that can totally derail this whole process. Knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. This right here, this is the single biggest error you can possibly make. It's the original sin of weak marketing, positioning your brand as the hero. The moment you do that, you force yourself to compete with your customer for the spotlight, and you will lose that fight every single time. And you've got to watch out for these 3 other common traps. First, being vague. You have to be specific about the success you offer. Second, rushing the process. The deliberate work is what creates the clarity. And third, forgetting the stakes. If there's nothing for the customer to lose, the story is boring. And trust me, they will not care. And that's your blueprint. The final takeaway, the thing to remember, is to ask this one simple question about every piece of marketing you create from this day forward. If the answer is that it's about you, scrap it. But if it's an invitation for the hero, your customer, to step into a better story, then you're finally making music. If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe, like, and build with us. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. We are doing this one book at a time. And remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So share this with them and grow together. Real progress becomes stronger when it is shared. Build your life one blueprint at a time. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you do.